なんて女だ。どうも、種火の守り手です。人間メリーゴーランドだ。
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot.
週の一つぐらいしてやれよ、クライブ。
We can speak inside.
なぜ野党なんかをやっているんだ、ウェイド。まさかの再会。あ、一応蹴散らした野党は生きていた。殺してはいなかったね。オッケーオッケー。
And those who wouldn't bend the knee?
We left before the Empire could make examples
広
of
告
us.
騎士の生き残
We
り。
didn't go far.
はあ、なるほど。
And we banded together to form the Guardians of the
ほうほうほう、
Flame
種
soon
火の
after.
守り手。
Alas, there is only so much a handful of aging shields can do against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the
ああ、
duchy's
ウェイドたちも
bearers
ベアラーを
out
か
of
くまっ
the
てたんです
Imperial's
ね。
clutches.
The Cullings. We saw what happened in Old Hill.
Aye, the foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but... she wouldn't
確か
have
に
been
な、
ignorant
疎
of
ん
their
で
value
い
to the
たに
realm.
したって本当に度が過ぎてるよ。
No offense, my lord. But in case you haven't noticed, the Lady Annabella couldn't
目
care
障り
less
なら
about
ば
the realm.
消せばいいっ
She
て。
barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And since granting the Holy Emperor a
何
new heir,
新しい子も
bearers only
こさえ
seems
て
to
いん
have
のか、あい
grown.
つ。
As to why, I don't know. Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
なんて女だ。
Sir Wade, the Black Shields have broken camp. They march in full force for Buick
本
Bridge.
営隊
Then so do we.
Make ready.
ああ、ロザリア国の。
This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks
そ
from happening
れはちょ
somewhere
っと見
else.
過ごせないんじゃないか。
If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
Yours and
ああ、
ours.
一緒に戦お
We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call themselves shields have committed in my mother's name. It cannot be allowed to continue. We must put a
う。そうだ
stop to
な、
this
同
madness.
じ血の流れるものとして。
We must. So let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
I was hoping you'd say
千
that.
人力だろ
Very well.
う。ドミナントが2人もいるんだからな。
If that is your wish, I would be honored.
いや、
to
それにしても
serve
ウェイ
at
ド
your
本
side.
当によく生きてたな。数少ない生き残りじゃないか。
So, Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
I imagine this endeavor will require more than just our wits.
Then let's hope Sir Wade has a good
うんうん
quartermaster.
うんうん。オッケーオッケー。じゃあひとまずは本営隊を打ち倒すためにウェイドと協力して向かうっていう感じですね。
I suppose we owe you our thanks. You spared us when you could have just as easily
い
sent
や
us
ー、
to
すまな
the
かった
mud.
な。人間メリーゴーランドなんか行って、すまなかったな。いやー、ちょっとはしゃげすぎたな。ごめんごめん。
We'll show them that. Tell us then, Sir Wade. What is your plan?
どんな作戦
Nothing
だい？
fancy. You, Lady Jill and I make for Buick Bridge
うんうんうん。
and provoke the main host at their encampment. Sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians, the Black Shields will call for reinforcements, who will be met from the rear by parties of my brothers hidden throughout the
陽動
surrounding
隊が
hills.
いるのね。はい。
This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without fear of being overwhelmed. While the Black Shields have an advantage in numbers, you see, they prefer to fight in small units, which we can use to our advantage.
How small exactly?
Small enough, now that I have you and Lady Jill for company.
まあな、ドミナント2人はな、本当に
But until we arrived, that was your plan.
それこそ戦略兵器級の強さだから
You
な。
haven't changed a bit.
So Wade, the bearers from Old Ed have been laid to rest.
Very good. Now make ready for battle.
As you command.
Thank you, Sir Wade. Perhaps now they will find peace.
There is but one thing which will grant them peace. Putting an end to the Black Shields.
And so we shall.
黒騎士を撃て。ゲストのパーティー参加。ゲストがパーティーメンバーに加わった。ゲストは一時的にパーティーメンバーに加わったキャラクターで、現在のフィールドのみに同行する。他の地域へ移動した場合は同行しないと。OK、ウェイドがパーティーメンバーに加わったのかな。OK。よし、そしたら、ビュイット大橋へ向かおうか。
May the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
ああ、そっちもブーンを。
How long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village, we tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention. It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since.
本当に何様だよな。
There they are. On your command, my lord.
あいつらか。さあ、粛清の時間だ。
What is it now? I told you!
We bear a message for the Vicereine. From the Guardians of the Flame.
Ha! You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy
どうも、
vagabonds,
種火
a
の
woman
守り手です。
and a dog could guard aught against the might
今日
of
は
the Black
この
Shield.
黒騎士たちを粛清していきたいと思います。
Die along with your flame. For Azaria!
行くぞ、ウェイド。やっぱり
Your petty
ここは初手。
revolution ends here.
いけ
These are swords we swear.
人間メリーゴーランドだ。待って、先にこれケアル使ってくるやついるんじゃね？なんだ、もう全然歯応えがないじゃないか。
Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far back!
まだ来るかい？お、なんかいる。まずは人型を倒して、おっと後ろからどこいしょ。いたーい。ゲイぶっ倒れろ。イエー。ここで半権限。お、さらに増援。いいじゃないか、楽しませてくれるが。
The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't say I'm flattered.
お、
A noble stand,
竜騎士。
albeit a misguided one.
またこれまでとは予想が違うな。
You have but proven our point.
相変わらず漢字が読めねえなこれ。
Is in dire need.
何円の竜騎士なんだ。行くぜ竜騎士ジャンプ。 おー、痛い痛い。痛い、危ない。よし、オッケー、ぶっ倒れろ。まだ来る。痛い痛い。
There's no one left to keep them occupied.
増援か。
We need to finish this.
You mean finish him?
増援にはこれだな。おれおれおれおれ。雑魚敵はこれに限るぜ。よいしょ、どっこいしょ。うれうれ。竜騎士も大したことがないな。
I don't see any more.
Nor do I. The plan worked.
It did. It bloody worked. We sent every last one of the rotten bastards straight to the mud.
いいってことよ。
Perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being, at least.
Perhaps. Though I doubt my mother will take this loss well. She'll move swiftly to see her minions' ranks replenished.
And then it will all begin again. I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. Her fields rot. Her people starve. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, another springs up in its place. Yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must fight for it. As we
もう
always
ね、
have,
完全にクライブたちと
always will.
合流すればいいのに。
For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our hearts, the Duchy cannot die. And her loyal subjects may dream of a day when the Rosarian standard flies over Rosalith once more.
So wait,
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcements? A sound strategy, my lord.
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades' endeavors?
おじさんともつながっていた。
Lord Byron was the
なるほど
first
ね。
person I turned to after forming the Guardians. And had I known of this tunnel back then, I wouldn't almost have been hanged by the city
ああ、そうだ
guard。for
そも
trying
そも
to
目
sneak
的
over
は
the wall.
地下通路だったな。
I suppose a formal request for an audience would have appeared suspicious.
And appearances must be maintained. Were the Vice Regency to catch wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our movement, they'd seize his estate and send him to the gallows, where he would be of no use to anyone. And so, though it sickens him to the soul, he plays the part of the loyal
あ
lord,
あ、なるほ
knowing
ど
that
ね。
one
クライブ
wrong
は
move might prove
もう
his
死んじゃっ
downfall.
てると思い込ん
It
で
is
る。
why he remains ever vigilant. Don't be surprised if he refuses you an audience,
はあはあはあはあ。
especially since you're famously dead.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove that I am neither wraith nor wrongdoer.
I might have something which could help with the latter. It's the mark of the Guardians. Display it, and those who love Rosaria
信
will
頼の
know where
証
your
的な。
loyalties lie.
はい。
I shall wear it with pride.
Be sure that you do. I don't want my
あ
men attacking
そういえば
you
タイラー
again.
は
Unless
タイラー
you
はさすが
deserve
に
it.
巻き込まれていたが。
If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you. Or the Lord Commander.
Thank you, Sir Wade.
達したでな、ウェイ
If
ド。
there is ever anything you
うん
need,
また何かあれ
I
ば。
know. Go on now, my lord.
ポート・イゾルデ広告属領ロザリア、バイロン・ロズフィールドの屋敷。あ、もうついてたのね。その道中は
How accommodating.
省略ね。
Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance.
バイロンおじさん。
Right, I guess. My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew would
信
come
じ
to
てはもらえ
visit.
ていないな。
Clive Rosfield died long ago,
おじさん、クライブですよ、私が。
and for uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue.
なんだ、見えない剣を。
You would mock me as
何の
well.
真似だ。
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot, loyal servant to her serene holiness, Saint Sybil the Unshod.
Meadow, thou vile sorcerer, for thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
過去のクライブの姿が。おじさん気づいてくれ。
Curse thee, infectious flax wench. Even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see
泣いてい
thy
る。
charge.
おじさんが泣いている。何かの演劇の一節だったのかな。
Bravo, uncle. You're still the finest
ああ、
Meadow
やっ
in
ぱ
the
り。
twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really
ああ、再会に次ぐ再会。いいな、話が。
You always were fond of that scene from The Saint in the Sanctuary.
なるほどね。
Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle,
おじさんおじさん
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your
ああ、確かにな
miraculous。
飯と
preservation
好き
on
が
an
なくて
empty
は
stomach.
始まらないさ。
Go on, sit. See that you use the good plates, Rutherford.
いいね。演劇の一節をね。思い出のトリガーとする
So
と
you
はいい
arrived
な。
late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Viceroy, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know,
あ
but
あ、まさに、
the
ま
woman
さ
we
に
knew
獣だ
is
よ。
gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster.
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
so he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more.
父上がな。
Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. Right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. And besides, I have
まあそりゃそうだよな。可愛い甥っ子には。ああ、しかもな、生きてるって分かったな。甥っ子だもんな。
Your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing.
ほっこりエピソードやな、ここは。
The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all
おお、シドの名前は
this
やっぱり
about
知れ渡っているんですね。
You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass.
豪商の名に恥じない
This will
性
be
格だな。
fun.
出港は夜のうちかな。
Over there. Go on.
She's a fine ship, isn't she?
Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days. Something on your mind?
Monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that the lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Jill.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it.
ライブチューしろ。 ここでクライブ中をするんだ。
The journey back to Benamir is long, and there is much to tell the others.
おい、中の一つぐらいしてやれよ、クライブ。いけずやな、もう。はい。ということで、ポートイゾルデから、一旦隠れ家に戻るの？はいはいはい。鉄の国。
Only the founder knows what awaits us in the Iron Kingdom. But Vivian could probably make an educated guess.
ああ、なるほどね。はいはいはいはいはいはい。なるほどなるほど。一旦まあ準備とかを整えて、なんならなんか鉄王国に行ったらしばらく引き返せないから、今のうちにできることはやっておけようフェーズかな、今は。魔法生物みたいな、はい。あるな。ベルフェゴール。さあ、まあ、いい感じの時間になってまいりましたので、本日はこれぐらいにしたいと思います。さあ、いろいろと話は進んでね、なんと、再会に次ぐ再会、ウェイドと、はい、おじさんともね、はい、ちゃんと会えることができまして、さあ、鉄王国に向かおうかというところでございます。はい。次回もですね、ファイナルファンタジー16はお酒もしくはノンアルコールソフトドリンクを飲みながらやってまいりますので、もしよければまた見に来ていただけると嬉しいです。それではまた次回。